Shalom, shalom. I want to start by giving all praises, glory, and honor to the Lord Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rakakadash. My name is Brother Napak from the Camp Prophets in Babylon, down here in Tampa Bay, Florida. And I want to give double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who teach and rule well. Peace and blessings to the hopeful elect and the ones listening in. And I want to get into a quick lesson. All right, just move by the Spirit. This lesson is going to be titled, Within Every Situation, Be Content. All right, within every situation, be content. And, that's just the spirit that's been on me, right now. All right, because I was, meditating in the spirit. And I was thinking how, there are certain situations the Lord will put you in to test you, whether it be high or low, whether it be, you're abounding or you're abased, and it's all to, test your faith and to test you ultimately. All right. And within every situation, you must be content. Now, before I go ahead and get, these precepts, I want to go get, the definition for content real quick. It says, this is content. Definition. It says, in a state of peaceful happiness. All right, in a state of peaceful happiness. You don't really need anything. All right, but the Lord to feel complete. All right, to feel at peace. To feel, fulfilled. All right, and Jake will have certain times where, Jake will go through certain things, all right, and they feel like, they need something just to feel better or to feel complete or fulfilled in the situation that they're in. But ultimately, all you really need is the Lord, man. All right, it says, satisfy, state of satisfaction, all right? So you're satisfied, man, and you're in a state of satisfaction within whatever state you're in, like I said, whether it be a lower state or you're high, you're abounding. It says, I want to go ahead and get this scripture right here. This is Philippians 4 and verse 11. It says, not that I speak in respect of want, for I have learned in whatsoever state I am, therewith to be content. All right. So in this truth and this knowledge and understanding, we learn, to be content and within every, state that we're in. All right. No matter what the situation or the thing is, you must be content, man, and be grateful unto the Lord that it could be worse, but it's not. All right. Or even, like I said, you're abounding. Be grateful in the spirit for the things that the Lord is blessing you with instead of wanting more. All right. Be content with what the Lord blessed you with instead of, oh man, I wish I had this though. Lord may bless you with a car and now you're thinking about a better car, and you got to be able to understand that, the Lord can take everything, man. The Lord can take all of it. All right. And just by, the mindset you're in within it. Okay. So the Lord feel like this thing is overtaking your mind and is going to destroy you. The Lord going to take it from you, man. Because he's like, okay, this guy's not ready for it. This is not the season for him to have this. All right. But once you have a content mind, the Lord is like, okay, I bless this brother. He can keep it, He know how to deal with it. He know how to sustain it. He's not bugging out over it, or giving it too much of his time. So the Lord allow you to keep certain things. All right, but even in the bad predicaments or bad situations, the Lord tests how content you can be within that. Can you still be grateful? Can you still have trust and believe and have faith in Him? All right, and still just be like, and that's that shows a form of faith, man. All right, you can be able to still be happy and satisfied and peaceful, at peace, even though all hell is breaking loose around you and you're going through all types of stress and but you still have that faith in the Lord, Yahweh Shem Yahushai, to where it doesn't, bother you, man. All right? Where it doesn't, make you, what's the word? Stumble. All right? It goes on and it says, I know both how to be abased and know how to abound. Everywhere and in all things I am instructed both to be full and to be hungry, both to abound and to suffer need. All right? So we know, as once you grow in this truth, all right, because this is Apostle Paul, all right, but we understand, all right, because Apostle Paul, he had a lot of wisdom and knowledge and understanding, all right, but much so we understand, all right, once we grow in this faith, once we grow in the wisdom and the knowledge and the understanding, we know how to be in every situation, all right, whether we're in need or we're full, whether we're abounding, or we're suffering. We know how to be in that predicament using the wisdom that we have gained throughout, experience. All right. Now, certain brothers may not, and that's the Lord may bring certain things upon you. All right, so you may learn. All right, and that just all comes with experience and faith, man. All right. Once we, the Lord deliver us out of every situation, faith builds up. All right. Once the Lord bless us with certain things, that we were like, okay, it's cool to have it, but I ain't in need of it. But the Lord still bless you with it. That builds faith, man. All right. It shows the Lord will deliver whatever you desire, man. Whatever you want. All right. As long as you know that this ain't what I need, all right, all you really need is this truth. All right. And everything else, will work itself out, man. Through the Lord Yahweh Shem Yahushai. It says, I can do all things through Hamashiach, which strengthen me. All right. And I want to get in the NOT. It says, Philippians 4 and verse 11, not that I was ever in need, for I have learned how to be content with whatever I have. All right. So, we learn how to be content with whatever we have, man. All right. To be, satisfied, to know that, okay, the Lord got me, bro. And to have that mind, all right, that's a power move, bro. To have that mindset is a power move because you have faith in the Lord, Yahweh Shem Yahushai, and nothing bothers you, bro. All right. Things can feel like it's going to pieces, to shit. All right. From sugar to shit, And excuse my language, but it's a saying I heard from an old head, man. And it was pretty funny. But it goes from sugar to shit, man. And you got to have the mindset to be like, okay, I got to be able to still be content through both. All right. I got to be able to be satisfied through both parts and areas of my life. In eras of my life, whether it's good or bad. It says, I know how to live on almost nothing and with everything. I have learned the secret of living in every situation, whether it is with a full stomach or empty, with plenty or little. So, we must learn how to live, with we must know how to live within every situation, whether full or hungry, whether, you're in need of food or you're not, whether you're abounding or you're abased. You must learn how to live through that situation, man. All right. You must know how to get through the situation. You must be content. You must be at peace. All right. Whatever situation it is. All right. To be grateful, to show gratitude to the Lord, to thank the Lord. All right, because we must love to suffer, learn to love to suffer. All right, because once suffering comes, that means growth is also coming right behind it. Growth is coming, Once you see, you start to suffer, that's a sign that it's about to be a growth spurt you're gonna have in the spirit. All right, and that's ultimately what we want, But I want to get this last precept, and I'm gonna close out with this. This is 1 Timothy chapter 6, and I want to get verse 6. It says, I want to get in the NLT. It says, yet true godliness with contentment is itself great wealth. So true godliness with contentment, all right, that is true. That is, great wealth, man. All right. Having true godliness, being of the faith, being of the wisdom, and being content. That's, better than anything that you can have here in this world, man. You have this truth and you're content with what you have, man. That's all you need. You don't need anything to be fulfilled, to feel fulfilled. That's what these niggas be, on. They feel like they need to be fulfilled and they can't find what it is to fulfill them. But we have. All right? We found what it was that we need to be fulfilled with, and that's the truth, man. To be complete. Everybody else is still trying to find that way, find that specific thing, but they don't know it because the Lord is not giving it to them. It says, after all, we brought nothing with us when we came into the world. So we brought nothing with us when we came here, man. Niggas want to get the new Benz and the new cars and the new houses, and they feel like that's going to make them feel better and make them happy, all right? But it leaves you wanting more. And then once you get everything in this world, once you gain this world, you have nothing more you can gain. And now you're just looking sick in the face because you didn't did everything. You didn't got everything, all right? But you still don't feel fulfilled or complete, all right? Now you're like, damn, bro, I have nothing else to do. I'm bored. I'm bored of this, this car. So Jake tried to get another car, and then ultimately, and I'm talking about, the Jake that's, in the world, obviously, that's trying to gain this world, through the industry or being a celebrity or anything, all right? They gain all these things and they understand, okay, I got all these things, but I still don't feel fulfilled, man. I still don't feel complete. I'm still not content. I'm still not at peace. So that's when they start, to stumble across drugs, man, and get on, stronger and stronger and stronger drugs and worse drugs. And, Jake just be drugged up, man, and be miserable. All right. It says, we can't take anything with us when we leave it. So we can't take anything with us, when we leave, when you came into this world with nothing, you will leave this world with nothing. All right. It says, so if we have enough food and clothing, let us be content. All right. You got food, you got clothing, you ate today, you woke up this morning. Be content, bro. Be at peace. Thank the Lord. Some people don't even have that. Jake struggling with that, man. So be content, man. It says, but people who long to be rich fall into temptation and are trapped in many foolish and harmful desires that plunge them into ruin and destruction. So people who long to be rich, who long to have wealth of this world, all right, they fall into many temptations and trapped by many foolish and harmful desires that, plunge them into destruction, man. That lead them into drugs, all different type of drugs, and they're destroying themselves. They're destroying their mind. Jake bugging out. Jake can't, function anymore. But it goes on and it says, for the love of money is the root of all evil, of all kinds of evil. And some people craving money have wandered from the true faith and pierced themselves with many sorrows. All right, so that love of money, the love of wanting more, to being covetous, all right, being greedy, you just want more, you just want more, you just want more, all right, and that love for it, all right, that's the root of all kinds of evil, man. I want more money, man. Jake get, a good amount of money. Now they want more. Now they want to do more. They want to do more to get more. All right, and all it does is lead them into ruin and destruction. All right, and they're pierced with many sorrows. And a lot of people wander from the faith, from this truth, all right, in seek of money, in seek of those things, man. Not being content and fulfilled with this truth, man. And the Lord will destroy them for that, So, hey, man, Lord willing, this lesson was edifying to the hopeful elect. I just want to get into a quick lesson on that. I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to the Lord, Yahweh Bahashem, Yahushua Bahashem Kakadash. Once again, double honor to elders and apostles, great millstone who teach the world well. Peace and blessings to the hopeful elect. Shalom Akim.